I want to talk about Kairos. I've been thinking a lot about this recently. So I'm sitting in the in this sauna the other day. You know, it's hot in the sauna. And I love it. I'm sitting up high in it. I'm sweating, you know, and I begin to get a little bit of that delirium, a little bit of that beautiful sort of, you know, exhilaration of you know, a sense perhaps of death. And I'm thinking, at what point do I leave here? At what point am I done? You know, you can time it, but you know, that's sort of an external code. You know, what I'm interested in is that emergent point that's imminent to that event, that's part of that event, in which you say, you know, now's the time. Now's the time to get above my ass and leave this incredibly freakishly hot room and stop sweating to death. So I'm sitting there, and there are a lot of naked men around me, and you know, I think, okay, I'm going to go now. I think I'm done. I think I've reached that point where I'm sated. You know, I feel right, but there's a tipping point, an inflection point, right? And Kairos comes right before that inflection point, right? And they're related, right? I know things are going to turn, they're going to change, but here is this propitious moment, this moment of opportunity, this moment to act. But I hesitated. I thought, well, am I really there? I overthought that moment that came to me. There was this gorgeous sort of now that whispered to me. That was this impossible amalgamation of sort of concept and experience and immediate bodily need. But I hesitated. And I didn't leave right then. And I waited a couple minutes, and I was like, fuck, I gotta get out of here. And I stood up, boom! I bashed my head against this wood ceiling. And you know, it didn't hurt or anything, but it was... Of course I banged my head. Of course I did, right? Opportunity had come. I hadn't taken advantage. I hadn't seized it. I hadn't gone with it. And so I sort of forced the moment, and I blundered. I hit. I wasn't moving with the world. And this impossibly strange logic of Kairos is what really interests me. You know, to the classical Greeks, you know, it was Kairos was a goddess. It was this opportunity that came and was gone, and it generally referred to big, momentous occasions. You know, huge, you know, historical moments. But I like to think about Kairos as every moment, as what you decide to eat. How you stand up, when you move across a room, when you decide to go to sleep, when you, you know, bigger moments, you know, when you decide to ask a girl out, when you move from eye contact to talking, all these different, incredibly elusive moments. And I like to think about how bizarre those logics are, right? I mean, what's happening in that moment? What's happening in that kairotic, propitious moment, right? It's this, again, this very complicated network of concept, history, sort of future projection, right? It's not just a now, it's a whole temporal fold. It's a now that's informed by a past and thinking through a future, so it's reflective but still imminent. You know, if you just sit and think about these moments of how you make decisions and of how opportunity comes to us all the time in all these different guises, and we either act or don't act. If you just think about that for a minute, the great, beautiful, magical universe reveals itself.